is Susan, this is Light at the Center, and today we're talking about 2025. Up until now, I've talked about changes from 2020 to 2024. And I have said that a great lot of things will change 2024 and in October. I discussed that 2024 and October is pretty much the end of all normality as we know it. And for a long time, the only thing that I have been able to see at all was all the changes up to October 2024. And up to the point that when I tried to gaze further than that, I couldn't see anything that made sense in any sort of linear time fashion, so why even bother? It's going to be a new world, basically. And then we reached 2024 in October. And now we are actually here. We are in the changes. And I will try to explain all the different things that you will start to notice from now on and which impact the things that is taking place right now will have on the next year. So a disclaimer, nothing will ever go back to normal again. I think a lot of you sensed that already in 2020. And when we reached 2020 in January, that's where they told me that, well, Susan, now finally you don't have to be impatient anymore, because I've been quite impatient. When I came to Earth, I knew this was going to take place. I was aware of the process that was going to take place. That's why I chose to come here. And I always awaited the great finale, when everything will really erupt for real and things will start happening. So when we came to 2020 in January, they said this is the last step. What is initiated now will never go back to normal again, and it will only escalate up until the point that this so-called transformation happens, and I will discuss what that is all about. And well, lo and behold, I guess most people will agree with that. There is the time before 2020, and it's all the massive changes that happened ever since. But up to the point that we reach now in 2024 October, it's still been somewhat normal. Yes, we have responded and reacted to all the craziness on the outside. After it's diseases, it's economical crisis, it's wars, it's insane. No matter how many international organizations that we put up, it just seems to get worse on the outside for all human beings. How come? So we really see an outside world basically giving up on us. That's what we're seeing. We don't see it ever going back to normal. Don't bother dreaming of a world that will eventually reach political peace or economic stability or, I don't know, stable food prices, interest rates. It's not going to happen. So the best way for me to now explain what's going to happen leading up to 2025 and what we will see in 2025 is to give you a basic update of the process that we're in and what the technicality of it is. And in my previous video in 2024, I explained some of it. So let's just delve deeper now. So first of all, I want you to picture that there are two levels. Here is the upper level. I talked some about this, the surface level. And here is the other level, the subconscious level. This is your level of consciousness. That is how you are conscious about yourself. Is also what decides your perception of reality. So the current reality that you're perceiving right now is not like a real physical reality that is independent of you. It is not. What your perception is all about is a relationship. I can't penetrate this cellular phone because this is the relationship we have. But there's really just space within this. But it is a perception of a relationship. Anyways, so when people say, is the world going to be destroyed? No. reality is in the eye of the beholder. It's you, the perceiver, who is experiencing the reality based on your relationship. So your level of consciousness, how you are conscious about yourself, is also how you are conscious about your outer reality. But just because you perceive only this doesn't mean that you are not also all this. So your whole subconscious sphere of yourself, that you also are, is also you. Even if you just consciously perceive this, you are also this. And that, my friends, means that even if you perceive just this reality, doesn't mean that this is real also. Only you can't perceive it. Get it? So, what does this mean? Here, and I gave this example so many times when I came here, I didn't understand that people could not see this parallel. When you come here, and we have to go to sleep during night, we have so much energy during the day, and then in the evening we become more and more tired, and we go to sleep, and then we travel to our subconscious. You go from the part of you that is conscious during day to your subconscious parts. Therefore, you can often not remember your dreams, and even if you remember your dreams, they don't make sense, because your conscious you can't really comprehend what is going on here. Because if they could, they would be linked. They would all be open to each other. You would be transparent onto yourself. But you choose not to be transparent onto yourself, and so you can't perceive reality either. So this is about to change. And if this reality barrier changes, because this is what I will be discussing here, you are actually expanding your consciousness now. So these subconscious parts that you so far only dreamed about will be connected with this. And that in itself means that duality will eventually change. It will be dispersed. It will be gone. So you will no longer have the separation of conscious and subconscious you, but you will be all awakened. That's what you're entering into. It will be a game changer. Just this process, spiritual working with yourself, it's not about you just getting in contact with yourself and still going to your usual shop or work every day. When you get in contact with yourself, you destroy your current reality. You destroy time and space. It's not that you're losing anything, you're gaining something, but it will look like you're actually destroying your outer world. That is what is so crazy. You can watch it from up there and it's quite funny, but here it's dramatic. So not only will being awake and going to sleep change, because there's no point of you going unconscious during the night if you start to be conscious about this as well, right? Can you see that? You're conscious about everything. Life and death is the same. When you come here as a baby, you have so much life. Oh, you're so much energy. You're running around like a little small lunatic when you're 5. And then you become more and more tired until you so-called die, right? That is the same process that is taking place when you are awake in a little part of you during the day. And when evening comes, you become more and more tired and you grow unconscious. Just like you live and you get more and more and more tired and you die. It's the same phenomena. But this phenomena ends when you start to change what you're conscious about. Like the old Egyptians tried to do this. Oh, I'm never gonna die again. I'm gonna be forever alive. Yeah, it's called waking up. It's called being conscious. It literally makes no sense that you would be unconscious during the day. If you are this body and this system, then why, oh why, can you not be 24 hours a day conscious about something going on in your own body? Are you keeping secrets from yourself? Why aren't you conscious about something all the time? Because what happens when you're not here? So it makes no sense. It's kind of funny when you think about it. But now people will say, what about my rent? What about my work? What about the paintings in my house? What is happening is that this shallow plane, that limited conscious, is becoming more and more anti-life. I talked about this in previous videos. This is more and more anti-life. I have this presentation in Life Now and Forever. You can find it on the YouTube channel, the English YouTube channel as well. So this surface level that we up until now resided on has grown more and more cold. it doesn't give nutrition anymore. It's anti-life. People on the surface level can't get joy, happiness, fulfillment there anymore. You can watch an old movie from the 80s and you can get like, oh, good vibes. But you can't really do that with modern movies, not in the same sense. And you can watch this taking place by manipulated food, more computers, AI, automatically send emails that is responded by another automatic system. Like there is no humans involved anymore. It's slowly dying and fading. The only way that people get nutrition here nowadays seems to be via the cell phone, because you have to have this dopamine kick in order for you to feel anything. You have to like distract yourself all the time and get your kicks. And if someone removes this, the computers and the cell phones will become like, oh my God, I don't know what to do, because it's empty on the surface level now. It's pointless on the surface level right now. So when we are dividing the population into people who we say are asleep and people who we say are awake, no one is completely awake as far, but we're getting there. But the people we say are asleep are people that are residing on the surface level, but perhaps now completely lost contact with their subconscious level. Completely lost contact. While you, who are waking up, are slowly feeling more apathic towards this. Apathy. You start to lose interest, because what you're perceiving right now, because you're getting in contact with this now, what you're perceiving here is that the whole system that you build here on the surface level seems pointless. It's a very strange phenomena for a human being to go through, because it's not normal. What is happening is, because you are restructuring yourself, you are going from small you to big you. And in this process, this small you will not place focus here anymore. You will place focus on building these walls. These will be destroyed, because when this thing happens, it destroys this. This dies because the bigger stuff takes over. So you are still focused here because you're so used to the surface level. This is my definition of work. This is my definition of me. This is my breakfast. This is how I relate to people. I have it all figured out. Only you don't have it figured out anymore. There's no nutrition there. It's lost its meaning. It's over. It's slowly being gone forever, actually. So you're having this maybe weird sensation that, I don't know, my job is pointless. And some of you maybe not even at work anymore. You're home and you don't know if you should go back to work, but you're still going to need money and you're all confused and it doesn't make sense. And yes, it will not make sense. Because right now, the surface level is almost like asphalt. If you picture this as asphalt, and then you know the phenomena when grass and leaves and plants grow beyond the asphalt. You've seen this, right? It penetrates the asphalt. These two worlds has nothing to do with each other. The asphalt is not aware of the plant. It doesn't understand that it's being destroyed. And the plant has no idea about the asphalt. It just knows that it's growing, it's getting up. These two systems will never have a talk, completely unaware of each other. You can't make this a smooth process that makes sense, that makes logical sense. You can't have a meeting about this and schedule it and plan it and take it slowly and making it feel nice. This is about you changing a perception of what you are. You either believe you're the asphalt or you believe you're the plant. But if you keep jumping between these worlds, they're not going to make sense. The so-called spiritual doesn't make sense with the outer system. But you have confused what you are. So you have been like half in some unholy fantasy of what you are, which is no longer sustainable. So I often also made a joke here in Sweden that the surface level now is like Titanic, so please exit it while you still can. Because the more you invest in what shall be no longer, the more turbulence you may experience when things start crumbling apart here. And the more you are more connected to here, the more easy this is going to be. It's almost like if you would renovate your house, you should probably not sleep on the current floor that you're renovating. You should probably sleep somewhere else. So don't necessarily place your focus there anymore. Better to place it here. That doesn't mean you're neglecting your life. What I mean is this. When you wake up in the morning, if you truly feel that something has changed within you, and be honest with yourself about this. Because what I'm experiencing is that a lot of people are going through extreme now crisis and turmoil. Either they are feeling apathy towards what's going on in their lives, they are craving changes in their working situation, in their living situation, in their relationships. And many people, at least here in Sweden, perceive that the normal way of relationships isn't working anymore. And they feel this restlessness. They want to travel around, meet people. They want to be in communities and groups. Everyone is like emerging on the outside, so to speak, but really they are meeting people in a way they never did before. It's almost like screw the old structures altogether. Yeah, there was a way we used to do relationships. There was a way we used to do life, but that doesn't apply anymore. And we feel this kind of crazy sensation, but oh my God, I can't break with everything I am so used to doing. Well, you have been used to this structure for a very short time, I might add. You haven't been on this place to start with for a very long time, and you don't remember how you came here. And you don't really understand what it means to die from here either. So don't get too used to something that is constantly changing for you all the time. And this outer society and its system have changed severely much in a very short time. And back in the days, we used to live in villages. We used to live together. To live like this alone in this concept, in this structure, in this control society is very strange. But never mind that. You're going to feel a lot of changes. And there's going to be a huge difference between people now experiencing this waking up that is really you connecting your consciousness. Let me give another example by that. You all know the painting of Michelangelo, right? The man that is reaching out with his index finger and God is meeting it up. And we see that this is as the human connecting with God. But it's really what it is. It's you, limited conscious you, connecting with the rest of you. Remember, just because you can only perceive this doesn't mean that you are only this. You are all of this. That is fact. And it's also fact that you right now can only perceive this, and therefore you choose to identify yourself as what you can perceive. But that is really pointless. You are all of this. But if you can't consciously connect with this, you are severed from source. That means you are severed from God. This all and everything that is. Because remember what I said? When you connect with the rest of this, you do not longer have a limited perception of your outer reality. You become sort of able to perceive all of reality. You become God. You become one with life. The little drop that becomes the ocean. So when this meets, it means that you are one again. So I also explained in my first lecture here with Life Now and Forever that what's happening in the end of times. End of times. Yeah, but linear time will go, so I can say end of times. You're all going to understand what I mean by it. What is happening is that some people will choose to connect and reconnect with themselves, and they will be fully on in this process, which is going to lead me to 2025 and what's going to happen there. And some people, they will choose not to connect. And you've seen these people will say that are asleep on the outside. Some people, especially when what happened with 2021 and everything, and we don't have to go back to that, people made their choices and stuff happened, and we started to notice a difference between who choose what, so to speak. Then you perhaps notice that some people, they remain here on the surface level, seemingly unable to connect anymore with their subconscious level, with their unconscious selves. So you feel that, I don't know, some of you have experienced it as sometimes I feel like I'm interacting with a robot or a zombie. It's not to be mean, but it kind of feels like you have someone in front of you, but they're not really there. Because they are seemingly disconnected with this. And if you become more connected with this, there's going to be like two worlds drifting apart. And that leads up to 2025. So far on my Swedish channel, I've said one word of 2025 because that's been all I've been able to see and perceive about this year. I saw lack, deficiency. Do we have any other sexy word for that? Because it doesn't sound so nice. Deficiency, shortage, yeah, you get the point. And I didn't understand why I was shown this. I didn't understand at all what it meant. Because what I saw of 2024 and this October and this big change, what I saw then was that those who are waking up, they will have like their own system, their own like community, while the outside will have their global control system. It will be two worlds living apart. And I said, could it really happen? But now I start to notice it has happened. And the phenomena that made this possible is that we will be divided in those who live on the surface level, where there is no nutrition, not so much hope, and those who are waking up, connecting with the greater them that will eventually erupt their perception world. So those who are waking up, they will have their own system. It will be nature coming back again, while those who are here will be, well, asphalt-controlled society. So it will be like two different worlds. So now it makes sense. But when I saw 2025 and I just saw like deficiency or lack, I didn't understand it. Now I get it. Because I saw like two places and they showed deficiency. And I was like, well, what does that mean? But now I understand. Those who will stay only on the surface level will, of course, experience this lack of nutrition, this deficiency, because there will be nothing there. The 80s will never return to this little forgotten part of the brain, so to speak. And for those who wakes up, it will be a complete other world that we enter into. So therefore, it will really look like that we, from where we are right now, are emerging into two different systems that will never know each other, basically. And it will be like slowly waking up, because if you imagine once again the grass and the plants penetrating the asphalt, somewhere along this line, when you stop identifying with the asphalt and you truly emerge and dare to be yourself, to be the nature, you allow your own nature to destroy the old you and the old concepts. And somewhere along this process, you're probably not going to be able to tell what is real and what is the dream, because it is an emerging. Should I explain it one more time? So far, you might have identified with the asphalt and the system that this asphalt was connected to. You've been living in the outer world with its definitions, while you subconsciously had your spiritual you, your real you, that has been somewhat silenced, somewhat allowed to show up every now and then. But now you are more and more residing in your subconscious, in your spiritual nature that has so far only been your potential, but not your true realized you. Now it is penetrating through the asphalt. And in this process, you have to make a conscious decision to let this asphalt go. So this asphalt now is your old definition of your work, your relationships, your identity, how you live, what you choose to do during your day. It's all of that. Oh my God, how am I going to survive now if I change things? And while your true nature can't be stopped. I said your abilities will grow larger. I was going to do a series of how to get superpowers, because your abilities is coming back. All your strength, your beauty, I was going to say your sorrow, your creativity, all of you are penetrating through this asphalt. It will be like waking up from a dream where you decide the rules. You decide your identity. So when you are waking up, you are actually the one who are destroying the old world. It will not happen via weapons and revolution. It will happen from within, as it always did, because it was always within that affected the outside. What you chose to be, a lot of thumbs up. I have to stop doing this. When you chose to wake up from this limited space to this, You also chose to destroy the old world. Only that it's not destroyed, it's expanded. And this thing that I say that the outside will be like Titanic, so don't reside there. It's just that if you know that you're changing and it can't be stopped and you want to give into it, give into it. Give into it. You are the boss. Give into it. Don't fake it. Don't do an ego thing. I will be the mightiest ego with my whatever knowledge. And you just pretend and you're still gonna fall on Titanic. But if it's true you emerging, you will watch as the whole world crumble. How do you feel about that? That is what we are entering into. And of course, I will talk much more about this. And please let me know all the questions you have in the comments. And I will also dedicate my future videos so I can specifically focus on what you guys are interested in. For sure, I will be traveling around a lot. That is what I see in my future. And spread, encourage, tell everyone about this process and what is going on. Help out with practical exercises you can do, and that will be focused on you emerging yourself with confidence, letting go of the old, helping out and encouraging communities, meeting up, explaining that we will not go back to the old ways of being, however that practically gonna look with our works and what we used as a money system and all of that, because eventually we're going to something completely new, something real, and it's happening now. More again soon. Have a very nice day. Bye for now.